Okay, just setting things up and things will start shortly. Hey there! Okay, is sound working? Sound working looks pretty good. Yeah, do an at tournament watcher ping. That sounds good to me. Let's get some people here. Is the description updated? The description is updated. The sound is quiet. Okay, I can fix that. Let me up that slightly. Okay, how's that? Is that better volume? Marginally, excellent. Okay. So, for those of you who have just joined, welcome, welcome. I am going to kick off my 2020 streaming doing some exhibition matches for Starsector. So Vera gave me a ping today and said that they wanted some matches done where people have submitted fleets against their new dev version of Kadur Remnant. Oh, I should say it's not against, it's with. Now let me look up what the stakes of this bet were. Yes. So I think 7 people have submitted fleets using Kadur. And the rules of this are that they get 200 deployment points with 20 ships max, 10 modular fighter wings max. Blech. If they win against a vanilla plus ship weapon pack test fleet that Vera has made, then Vera is going to nerf whatever bit of Kadur was overpowered. And they're going to make a Kadur high-value bounty fleet themed after that person. And if Vera's test fleet wins, then they get the satisfaction of their stuff not being overpowered. Okay, now I should probably just give it a minute or two. I know some people are still streaming in because I can see them typing in Discord that they're making snacks and stuff. Hey, Fantastic Chimney. Hi, Delta Deets. Okay, so let me double check here. I have a list of competitors that I can go over quickly before I start the stream proper. Just waiting for people to trickle in. So let's see. The contestants who have submitted fleets are Time Warper 2, Ruben, Boris, Sozer, Light Forger, Grievous 69, Lightning JC, Archangel Mark 5, and Ruben again because they decided to do 2 fleets. And these are all going to be best of 1 matches. And that should be fun. Okay. Haha, excellent. I have rated second screen while drunk. So yeah, the music warping is because I do have sound damping turned on from my mic, so the sounds get suppressed a bit when I talk. Okay, we've got some people here. Let's get down to business and defeat the Huns, and go over the fleet that Vera has submitted. So, we're using the tournament mod. I am going to be streaming it, and I'm going to try my best not to go into crazy Twitch camera mode. That's my New Year's resolution to all of you watching. Okay, let's look at Vera's benchmark baddies. Now, this fleet is supposed to be a challenge fleet comprised of vanilla plus ship and weapon pack outliers, as kind of a balanced in fleet composition, but using outliers, so using intentionally powerful ships to try to test Kadur and see how all of the submitted fleets do. So let's take a look at Vera's test fleet. And Jungala must be destroyed. Thank you, Delta Ds. So this is the ship and weapon pack Victory. I see that it is named the Kofart Accord, so I'm guessing Vera stole this ship shamelessly from Kofart from when they submitted this. Let's see, maybe for the Falcon P fight, maybe for some other fight. Okay, let's take a look at this. So for those of you who are unaware or unfamiliar with ship weapon pack, the Victory is a 55 deployment cost, kind of super capital-ish ship. It's not quite as super capital as a Paragon. It's very much a forward-fighting duelist ship because it has a front shield that's only 90-degree arc. So it really doesn't deal with getting flanked very well, but it does have pretty beastly flux stats, very good hull and armor. It has a maximum drive, which is kind of like a burn drive that keeps shields on. It's not quite as restrictive as a burn drive because you can turn a little bit, and it also doesn't go quite as far. Let's see. I think that's the important stats. So let's go over the build. We have 28 caps and 50 vents for a pretty deep flux pool. 27.6k flux capacity, 18k flux dissipation. The ship has pretty light hull mods, actually. It has ITU for the extra range and expanded magazines. Yes, so expanded magazines is probably going to be significant for all of these burst PD lasers. Let's go over the guns. The Victory has 2 built-in Klatokanes, and I'm sure I mispronounced that, and for that I apologize, assault guns. These are medium-range, high-damage HE assault guns that are built into the Victory, and they are not, they're not the best armor crackers because they are 1.0 efficiency and 120 damage per shot, but they can pour a lot of DPS down. So they are quite good anti-hull assault guns. They're kind of, how would I put this? They're like Hephaestus, only with a burst magazine. And they should actually benefit from the expanded magazine. Then we have an entire ring of burst PD lasers. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them on each side. So 12 burst PD lasers, also boosted by expanded magazines. We have some heavy needlers up front, some ion beams for lockdowns, and some HVDs in the middle. So these will actually, even though they're mounted farther back, these will have farther range, but a pretty good kinetic plus ion lockdown. Then we have some high-efficiency armor crackers in the Hellbores because of their 750 damage per shot. We have Aegis Flax covering the rear, and 4 harpoon parts to get kills. And let's see, is there anything special going on with the weapon groups? Let's see, HE in one weapon group. HVDs and ions, heavy needlers in another. Okay, no, just decent weapon groups all around. The harpoons are all linked instead of alternating, but they're not linked to any guns. Okay, let's look at the rest of the ships. Next we have some drovers with Falxes. Okay, so Falx drover is pretty powerful because the ship system on the drover, the reserve deployment, will take the Falx from 2 to 3. So it's a pretty big improvement. It's a 50% improvement in the fighter wings. And let's see, expanded missile racks with harpoons for fire support. Some reliance for really not that great, but at least some point defense and kinetic shield damage. No caps or vents though, so these will go down pretty easy if ships can get to them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. Then we have some, let's see, this one was the space support. This is what rock and roll looks to do. I don't know what that says. I can't read it. Too long. Not working. Alright, but it's an SO Hammerhead. These are strong ships to beat, and SO Hammerheads are pretty good. Let's see, I see assault chain guns, I see light dual machine guns, I see Vulcans, and I see Reapers. These are probably linked Reapers. Is this Ruben's build from that last exhibition thing? Yeah, it probably is. Let's see, it's got 900 flux dissipation thanks to safety overrides, top speed of 120 plus 50, because it always has the 0 flux bonus, so these are speedy ones. 3 caps for some flux dissipation, and weapon groups, I bet they're linked. Yes, the Reapers are linked, so it'll be firing one 8,000 HE damage shot. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those. And then we have Omens, and these are Veyra's Victor's own Omens. Very tough, nasty little buggers with 10,000 effective shield hit points that I don't even need to look up anymore because I've said that so many times on stream. Hardened shields, resistant flux conduits, hardened subsystems, and unstable injector give it speed. A single antimatter blaster for overloading and punishing armor. The built-in EMP emitter for general damage and anti-fighter duty. And the one Reaper, because fuck you. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those Omens. So to summarize, we have a strong duelist capital. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drovers with falxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 SO hammerheads, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Veyra Omens. And that adds up to 200 DP. And yes, as ooh, I'm sorry, it's 3 falx. Did I say thunder? Oh no. 1, 2, 3 of those. Veyra has corrected me. I missed the 2 thunder ones because I was going too quickly. So yes, there are 2 thunder drovers. 2 thunder drovers and 3 falx. Oh, that's just evil. So the thunders are going to give long range, high speed, all damage types. It's really unfair. They have the light dual machine gun for anti-shield, the Swarmer SRM for anti-fighter and a little bit of HE, and the ion cannon for fuck you lockdown. And the only thing that thunders lack is raw DPS. I wonder where that's going to come from. I just don't know where the raw DPS is going to come from. All right. So let us start taking a look at the Kadur fleets. So this fleet is from Time Derper 2, and I see ships. Let's take a look at these. Ooh, I'm zoomed in. So we have some Prophet class battleships, and I think I see 2 of them. Yes, I see 2 of them. They look like they have identical loadouts. These battleships, let's take a look at them. They're slow at 20 top speed, but they have the Mass Aug ramjet ship system. So they are going to be able to zip forward with their shields down when they need to. They have, wow, pretty darn tough hull and armor. 24,000 and 27,800, sorry, 2,780 armor. That is a lot. I mean, I see heavy armor here. I see armored weapon mounts. I see Guardian engineering. Yep. So this is just going to be an absolute chonker brick. And Veyra's saying, holy shit, that armor. Veyra, you designed it. Let's see. Shields are for nerds anyway, says Delta Deets, except that it does have a shield. It has not a great shield. It's a 1.0 flux per damage, which is a low-tech efficiency, but it's 260 arc front shield with with 18,000 flux capacity. So it has a good shield. No, it doesn't. It has an okay shield. Oh, apparently Zen says that Zen designed the armor. Okay. Well, let me just quick run down the hull mods. We have heavy weapon integration, which just reduces the ordnance cost of large ballistics. We have the Guardian engineering, which gives 4,000 hull integrity, 400 armor. Turn speed is down by 25% though, and 5 extra fuel per light year. So in campaign, that would be a problem. Not so much here. Okay, and a 1.0 shield. Now, this does have ITU for the range, lots of armor, automated repair unit, and armored weapon mounts, so that'll actually help against the Thunders, and the shield conversion shield conversion front, which both cuts the shield flux per second and also extends the arc quite significantly. Okay, weapon loadout. Okay, there's some point defense. I see Vulcans. I see, ooh, a whole bunch of empty composites. Okay, sorry, I got off track. I see Vulcans on the front for point defense. I see some more point defense in these 1 OP Kadur close-in weapon systems. Actually, a whole bunch of those. I see some Mark 9s on the side. That'll give reasonably efficient kinetic damage with high shot size. I see some Tachyon Lances. Well, that's nice. And I see some capacitive rod drivers, which are kinetics with EMP arcs. That'll be fun. Now, while these do have long range, they are low DPS and low efficiency. But there are 4 of them. So, we have the kinetic plus tac, plus some javelins, and a whole bunch of empty mounts. Cooler medium Gauss cannons is how they've been described. Awesome. And we have lots of flux. Well, these are big honking battleships with tons of armor. We will see how they do. Backing them are battle cruisers. I see someone's going for the traditional British battle doctrine. Anyway, backing them up are some battle cruisers, the Ziz class, which has the flux injector system, boosting speed, maneuverability, and dissipation disables shields. Now, these are a bit faster. They are 50 speed, which is not bad for a battlecruiser, to be perfectly honest, but they pay for that with significantly less hull and armor. So they only have 14,000 hull and 1,400 armor. That's with the Forever War engineering boost to them. And let's see, they have a 1.2 efficiency shield. Not great. And that is a Omni Shield, front shield? That is a front shield. Okay, so it's got a 180 degree, pretty poor front shield. This seems to have more missiles, yep, with 2 JRA very long range missile systems. It's got some of those medium mount Gauss driver wannabes, 4 of them, and it's got 1 Tachyon Lance and some close-in weapon systems. Yes, and some medium torpedoes on front. So this looks like a little faster, but very similar weapon choices. These kind of long-range, low DPS kinetics backed by a Tachyon Lance. All right, so 2 of the battleships, 2 of the battlecruisers, and 1 fast carrier of the Rook class. Let's see. Interesting. So this is a cool ship system. Martyr channel increases the speed, maneuverability, and anti-fighter damage of launch fighters in direct proportion to the amount by which they are outnumbered. That could be very good. We'll see if that can defeat the drovers or at least blunt their impacts. Let's see, it has Forever War engineering in the cruiser size, I believe. Has some IFF, that's cool. Let's see, this has been built for range, and it has some of those wannabe Gausses, and it has some small kinetic. Cool, and these look like small mounts. Yeah, small mount wannabe Gausses, and I see, yes, 900 range, which is excellent for a small mount, but only 65 damage per second. No, only 54 damage per second. Okay. And some close-in weapon systems. Let's look at the fighter, as this is a carrier. We have the Phalanx Heavy Fighter. Cool. It's got flares. It's got microspike rails. I have no idea what a microspike rail is. It's a gun. I'm guessing it's anti-fighter. I have no idea. I honestly have no idea what the microspike rail is. Tiny kinetic missiles, says Vera. Cool. Tiny kinetic missiles and some light volley drivers. Light machine guns. Cool. So these look like somewhat broadsword equivalents with some missiles, it seems. They have decoy flares. Decent hull, decent armor, good top speed. 3 per wing. Okay, so that was me trying to learn what the heck Kadur does, because I don't really play with Kadur very much. Let's see. Burstier, more fragile broadswords, says Vera. Alright, so I'm just going to do a quick reset, and I think it's finally time, after quite a bit of stream time, to get into the first match. So this is Time Derpers, battleships and battle cruisers with a little bit of carrier support versus the benchmark baddies. All right, is my camera mode correct? It is. Excellent. Excellent. So coming from the south, we have our chunky battlecruisers and battleships. The carrier is moving behind. That's very nice. They're kind of derping their way forward a bit. Got a little worried about collision. Coming from the north is the swarm, with the victory bringing up the back. Let's see, there have been some capture orders assigned, and the omens and hammerheads... Whoa, cool, got some knockback effect. Oh, an instant overload. Is there going to be follow-up for that overload? Well, this ship is charging forward, but, you know, it's not going to be able to follow up. That's very interesting, though. The kinetic spike from these ships are capable of instantly overloading the hammerheads. That's actually really powerful. It looks like the low capacitors on the hammerheads, remember, they only have 3 capacitors, mean that the hammerheads are going to get overloaded every time. Over on the left, a Omen has managed to EMP a bit on the battlecruiser. I don't see any glowing armor, so I don't think it got an EMP spike in. There come the Reapers. Took it on the shield, did not overload. So far, so good for these battleships. Let's see, both the battlecruiser on the right is being, mauled actually pretty badly. The assault chain guns, there's one Reaper, there's another Reaper. The hull is almost down, and that's a kill. So, the hammerhead flanked, the omens locked down, and then all of a sudden those Reaper barrages just completely annihilated the first battlecruiser. The same thing looks like it might be happening over here. The battlecruiser has been turned 90 degrees. Oh, the victory's here. The victory is getting a lockdown. The assault chain guns are plinking away at the armor. Ooh, that was a nasty hit. That was a hellbore. Then the harpoons for the follow-up. That battleship is out of position in front of a victory. It's dead. On the left, we have one Omen getting the lockdown, 2 Omens getting the lockdown, some fighters swarming, and let's see. Yeah, this is not going to work well. The assault chain guns, they are a lot of DPS. Even though the armor does dissipate them, it's a lot of DPS. One hammerhead goes down. The ship is overloaded, and it's dead. This is not looking that great for the Kadur chunky ships. They seem to be doing well in the beginning, but then they just got turned and swarmed, and here come those harpoons. I mean, the victory doesn't... the victory has helped, but it hasn't really been needed. This is it. The capitals are down. The carrier, there are the EMPs. The hammerheads bringing the DPS. The omens bring the lockdown. There's going to be some antimatter. There's one antimatter blaster. It's just not long for this world. It looks like the fighters were totally disabled, and that is it. So not quite a shame, but one hammerhead destroyed, and that is the only victory for these Kadur ships. I think I didn't see exactly how the hammerhead died, but I know it was caught on stream, so we can check later exactly how that hammerhead died. Okay. Wah, wah. For just a second, I thought they would be able to do something because they could overload the hammerheads in one shot, but there was no follow-up. There's no instantaneous missiles to just obliterate the hammerheads, and that's... If there had been an overload and then follow-up, they could have maybe chained kills, but it just didn't work. Okay, it's time to look at the next challenger. This is Ruben, and Ruben's first fleet, I should say, and it looks like they've gone for a significantly wider strategy. Now, the benchmark baddies are staying the same this whole time, but let's take a look at Immortal, more like I'm mortal. Am I right? Am I right? Okay, let's take a look at this. So, we have a bunch of Hyena-class frigates. It looks like they're all up here. So the Hyena class is it's pretty fast at 190 speed. It's only got a flare launcher, but that can be useful. And it's a 3 DP frigate. So it's really not going to do a whole bunch, but it should be able to stick around to provide some support. I see fairly decent capacity and dissipation for a light frigate, but it's only got a 180-degree front shield. So again, this is not a very powerful ship, but You can have a lot of them. They're only 3 DP. So let's look at the armament. I see Heavy Giselle Battery, which is a very long range. Holy crap, 1200 range? Is that legal? Feyre, that's illegal. Anyway, a 1200 range ballistic medium. Yeah, alright. But its flux efficiency is 1.33, which is a lot better than a gas cannon. Yeah. Well, alright, we're gonna roll with it. Let's see. Its damage is 150, and its damage per second is 181, which means it's got significantly higher it's got, okay, hold on a sec. You know, I haven't run with this, but like, how is this not just like a much better high velocity driver? I'm looking at this. All right. Well, maybe I'll be proven wrong. There is a difference between paper stats and real world performance. But these are frigates that are going to have 1320 range on a kinetic gun. And they got a Reaper, because why the fuck not? They're going to swarm. Vare said the HVDs don't spread. So if there's significant spread that lowers the effective DPS, then that would be a good balancing mechanism. We'll see. I'll try to keep an eye on the spread of these guns. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these light harassment frigates. Okay, let's see. I see a Warplock Buzzard frigate. And these have the Flux Injector, which is actually the same ship system as those battle cruisers. Fairly low top speed for a frigate. 100 top speed. It's got an Omni Shield with 1 efficiency, which is, it seems to be decent for Kadur. Decent hull and armor for a frigate, and decent flux stats for a frigate, but not great. Let's see, it has the special Guardian Targeting Auxiliary, extending the range of ballistic and energy weapons by 50%, precludes the installation of dedicated targeting core or integrated... I see, so this is a long-range specialty frigate, hence why it's only 100 speed. It has a Joshua AA medium missile launch system, which is anti-fighter. Cool, so we got an anti-fighter system. Unlimited ammo, low DPS, anti-fighter, and hits to strike craft, hull, or armor deal additional high explosive damage equal to the original hit. Cool. So this is a purpose-built anti-fighter ship with 90 DPS against everything and 180 DPS against fighters. That's a nice weapon system. It's significantly less powerful than a Locust. It is a medium slot, but less powerful against ships. I like that. Let's see. It's got the Heavy Giselle again, and it's only going to have 1800 range. I mean, 1800 range. That's fine. That's fine. It's got, apparently it's got a lot of spread. And it has a Flesh It driver, which is long range but low damage. Excuse me for the cough. I'm getting over a cold. Okay. Now we have, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of those, and they're spread out for deployment order purposes. Next, we have another Prophet, and this one is built significantly differently. This one has ITU resistant flux conduits, flux distributor, so it's built for flux, stabilized shields, but not front shields, so it'll be able to block flanks from the side, and IPD AI. Alright, so it's going to be able to shoot down fighters pretty well. And it's just bristling with these light close-in weapon systems. So we'll see how that does. These are very cheap guns, but with IPD AI to back it up, they could do pretty good. Now we have Heavy Needlers on the front, always a very solid DPS choice. And the burst fire from 4 Heavy Needlers, that's actually going to be able to rip down a Hammerhead's shields. Yeah, Hammerhead can't, especially a 3 capacitor Hammerhead, cannot absorb 4 Heavy Needlers worth of kinetic fire. Oh, and all of these slots are filled in by Hauberks. That is actually really interesting. And some flax. It has 2 auto pulses, again for that alpha burst. That could really mess up a Hammerhead. I'm just saying, that's a pretty darn good burst. And it's got Locust, and Locusts are always solid. So between the Locust on the battleship And the Joshua on the Buzzards, that's a pretty good anti-fighter screen. I'm looking forward to seeing how that does. And there's some Hellbores with the high damage HE to crack through armor. Ooh, no, not autofit. Jesus. I just want to look at the weapon groups, see what's going on here. Oh god, look at how many freaking Hauberks there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Got a scroll. I have lost my... There's like 20 Hauberks. I can't count them because I ran out of space. Heavy Healers are linked. Hellbores are linked. Flax in there too. Yeah. Looks actually like a pretty standard weapon grouping. But nothing wrong with standard. Standard gets the job done. Okay. We have a battle carrier, Seraph class battle carrier. We haven't seen this one yet. It has a mass anomaly field. Decreases the speed and maneuverability of all fighter craft within a large radius, increases their damage taken, and periodically strikes them with a weak EMP arc. Oh, okay. So this is an AoE anti-fighter. The fuck carriers fighter. That could do very well against the Falcons and the Thunders. That could do really very well indeed. Let's see, it's got expanded deck crew for the, fighters, ITU for guns, and an automated repair unit that should help again with Thunders. I see a lot of these Hauberks on here. I'm just going to say it out loud. Vera, if Ruben is using this many Hauberks, they might be overpowered at one point. Or you might have too many weapon mounts. We'll see how they perform. But, Ruben builds ships really well. I'm just calling it. You see this many on a Ruben build, they're probably really good. Okay. Let's see, we got some torpedo pods, cool, anti-ship torpedoes. We have some heavy machine guns for a combination of point defense and also anti-SO. So if a hammerhead gets close to these, they'll be able to shoot it and at least drive up shields. We have some ultra caliber heavy chem rails. Interesting. It's a frag, high range, high DPS. Alright. 500 damage. Sure. Alright, cool. Yeah, so general purpose because they're such high DPS. And some flax. The fighters are Immortal Assault Corvettes, Theocracy Loyalist. Okay, so these are single fighter assault corvettes. They have 1,000 Omni Shield, 950 hull, and 250 armor. They're basically little frigates with 150 top speed, and they've got some missiles, they've got some volley drivers, they've got some close-in weapon system. They actually have a lot of hull mods, too. Sure, okay, so these are gunships. Ooh, and 30-second refit time. Alright, so this is an anti-fighter capital with anti-ship guns and gunship corvettes. Oh, and we got some of these. We've seen these before. These are the Rooks. They also have the Immortal Assault Corvettes. Just point defense on them. With expanded deck crew. So it won't quite be 30 seconds. No. It'll still be 30 seconds. It just won't go so bad. Yeah. Okay, and that's the fleet. So that was a lot of looking at it. Let me do a reset and a summary. We have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the Hyena harassment frigates. A whole pile of the Buzzard long-range frigates with anti-fighter missiles. We have 1 battleship, 1 battle carrier, and 2 support carriers. Let's get into the fight. This is Ruben's Immortal Like I'm Mortal, am I right, fleet versus the benchmark baddies. Enough talking. Let's get to the action. I talk a lot. It's a thing. Vera is super stoked, and so am I. From the south, it's Green Team, with a minus 10% ECM rating because omens are overpowered. Let's see, the frigates are taking the lead, kind of going up towards the capture points. They are going to run into omens and hammerheads. Okay, let's take a look at the weapon spread. Let's see how much DPS these are actually going to do. I thought you said these things had spread. Well, 1 hyena is already down. That did not look like a huge amount of spread to me. Here comes the aura from the battle carrier. The battleship is charging in. There go those Needlers. The Hammerhead actually played it good and lowered its shield. Oh my god, the gunships. The gunships tore the Hammerhead apart. Look at that. So this is, again, carrier AI. Carriers love to mass their fighters on a single target. And oh, there's a Reaper into the frigate. Frigates are going down. The gunships are melting everything. But here's the interesting thing. The frigates, despite dying quite a lot, they are drawing out the Reapers. And that is stopping the battleship. Oh, from eating those Reapers. The battleship hasn't been Reapered. But here is the victory. The victory is firing at this ship. The Omen is actually in the way. That's actually helping. The ion cannons are coming in, but I don't see the ion cannons. Ooh, that was a good shield stopping the Reapers. There have been some Hellbore shots hit, though. Is this ship going to be able to stand up to a victory? We'll see. We'll see. I guess this is the test, right? This is the test of the Kadur ships. Oh, that was a really weird burn. Burned sideways, exposed its side. I mean, the victory is high flux. Ooh, victory just ate a Hellbore. I mean, this is actually a pretty close duel at this point. Let's see. Things are kind of settled on that side. I'm going to focus on this duel a little bit for now. And we can kind of watch. I mean, you can see that this Hammerhead is just eating these frigates alive. Let's see. It looks like a frigate corpse protected the battleship there for a little bit. You know, the victory is... It is losing. It is losing a little bit. Let's see if these Omens can protect it. Oh! Reaper hit! Reaper from the Omen got past the point defense there with a large armor hit. The Omens are next to it. Are they gonna EMP? The Omens have EMP'd. The victory is protected a little bit, but it's not lowering its shield, which is actually probably a good idea considering the Hellbore shots. You know, I think one-on-one, this battleship might be able to beat the victory, but there are 3 Omens surrounding it, providing support. There is the ion beams from the victory. This is still... it's still close. They're both high flux. They both have similar hull. They both are using Hellbores. Let's see. The fighters are here. But they're... Where are those gunships? Hold on. Where are the gunships? The gunships just massacred a Hammerhead. That's where the gunships are. Down here, the Hammerhead is killing another frigate. Although the... Okay, there's the spread. There's that spread we were talking about. Alright, that's going to take a while. I'm going to go back up here. Oh, this victory is almost dead. Really, really close to dead. But so is this battleship. Oh, the victory just needs to get its weapons up and fire a few more volleys. Oh, it's really close. You know, I didn't check the deployment cost of this thing, but it can... Oh, there it goes! So this capital ship built by Ruben can handle a victory in 3 Omens. So let that be a balance point, Vera. Although, you know, we should watch the stream and see how much support it was getting from these frigates and from the gunships. But I'm not sure what else can really threaten this ship. The gunships have dealt with a lot of the Hammerheads. Let's see, what's actually left? 1 Hammerhead, 4 Omens, and the Drovers. And the frigates are doing really well. So a lot of the frigates had died, but they distracted things for long enough. And I really don't see these Falxes doing all that much against this fleet in particular. Okay, Hammerhead's coming into the side. It's attacking the battle carrier. It is getting good armor hits in. It's defended by some Thunders. So the Thunders are helping. The gunships aren't going after it too much. The battle carrier has raised its flux up quite a bit. Thunders are trying to protect the Hammerhead. This is the last Hammerhead. The Thunders are doing an okay job, but the... Oh, no. They just could not do it. So, a single Hammerhead did okay against the battle carrier. Maybe if there are 2 or 3 of them, it might have worked, but the hammerheads got eaten alive in the early stages of the match. This might be a match it might be interesting to do again afterwards. And yes, it looks like Vera is doing at least one, because Ruben submitted 2 fleet. At least 1 high value bounty for Ruben. This was actually a pretty close fight. I could see this fight going very differently if the ship had lost. But it didn't, and the gunships were really good counters to the hammerheads. Like, we just saw hammerheads popping left and right to those immortals. Okay, what is left? It's just the drovers left and this single omen. Let's see how the omen does. Are we going to get any data how the omen does against these gunships? Let's watch. So, ooh, the Omni Shield was in the wrong direction. So the omen disabled 1 gunship. Yeah, ooh. Whew. God, these things have high DPS. I mean, omens are made of paper, but still, it dropped its shield for 1 second, and it just destroyed them. Yeah, the heavy machine guns on the battle carrier were a very, very good move. If you're worried about SO ships attacking you, put on heavy machine guns and put on assault chain guns of your own. It's just good advice in general. Here those chem rails. Those are doing pretty good. We didn't see the chem rails do all that much. Let's see, how much hull does the Prophet have left? The Prophet has 200 hull left. So literally, 1 burst of 1 gun would have killed the Prophet. So it was a very close match, but we saw that there was significant omen support. Like, the victory had support. And while the Prophet had some support, like, the stuff that was hovering around the Prophet didn't do too much. I would recommend, Vera, you watch the duel again before you make your nerfs, but, yeah, that could simply beat that victory one-on-one. Alright, this fight is over. Not a shame by any means, but the frigates were enough distraction, and then the hammerheads just got murderated. So, distraction frigates plus gunboats equal murderated. Alright, I'm going to speed this up. Although, I don't know. Actually, no, I won't speed this up because I think the Thunders are going to get a frigate kill. I don't want to deny a kill. That's just mean. There we go. That's another buzzard down by a drover. But here are the gunboats. Let's see how the gunboats do. Gunboats are doing pretty high damage. Yeah, look at that. God, that was a pretty nasty kill there. That was 3 of them. So that was just one of the carrier's gunboats. Okay, so not a shame by any mean, but the sacrificial frigates did their job. Saha! Kadur is 1 for 1. Vera, you might end up making a lot of fleets from this. Okay. Next up is Boris. And let us see what Boris did. So here are these prophets again, and this is again a very different prophet build. So you're going to get a lot of data on prophets, Vera. Let's see. These have the sling ADS pods on them. Cool. So this is dedicated anti-missiles. Looks good. And there's a whole bunch of them, again with some hauberks and some flax. This is actually pretty popular. Let's see. This is running Gausses. Okay. So this one is a Gauss ship. So 2 Gausses and 2 chem rails. That's a pretty matching long range there, especially given that these are forward guns. Interesting, and so it has the super long range matched up with the assault chain guns. So things that get close are in for a lot of HE DPS. Interesting. Let's see, there are 6 salamanders and a Jericho. Alright, so interesting. We'll see if those salamanders do anything. A sun herd of sunbirds. Okay, and we've kind of seen this before, so I won't linger on this ship. So 2 of these with a mixed battery of long-range support and close range. I'm going to murder you with HE damage. We'll see how that does. And then sunburns. Now, I have been directed to look at the sunbird system. Unlimited Missile Works reloads the ship's missile weapons, builds a considerable amount of flux, has a long activation time, and disables weapons and shields while using. How many charges does this have? I'm guessing unlimited, thanks to the word unlimited. So let's see, what is going to be massacred by this? Hey look, it's Sabopods! Who could have guessed that there would be 2 medium-mount Sabopods on a missile ship? Not me. And they're being backed up by Jamadar medium-range torpedoes. 3,000 damage, 3 ammo boosted to 6. Let's see, it's got some slings. And, front shield, pretty decent armor, pretty decent top speed for a destroyer. 9 recovery costs, so it's actually pretty cheap. And hardened shields, that's going to give it 0.9 shield efficiency, which is not terrible. Yeah, this is going for missile spam. Missile spam. Yep. So apparently Jamadars are harpoons, but only good when the enemy is overloaded. I wonder what's going to overload things. Just kind of wonder. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 sunbirds. So this is a much less numerous fleet of 2 Prophet battleships with a very different build. So we'll see how they do, and then a lot of sunbirds for missiles. Let me do a quick reset there. Oh, I want to look at the sunbirds' weapon groups real quick. Okay. The Sabos are linked, but they're not linked to weapons. We'll see how that plays out. And then the Jamadars are not linked. Cool. Cool. Let us see how this does. So from the south, we have the latest Kadur Challenger. And from the north, we have the test fleet. So here we have the engagement. We have the sunbirds being immediately attacked by hammerheads. That's no good. That's no good at all. I am not seeing the sunbirds. I didn't see it fire its sabos there. I would like to see more weapon group linking to improve the performance of the sunbirds. Because without weapon group linking, they're not going to fire off their ships very well. So already I see multiple sunbirds down. The harpoons that are coming from the Drovers and the Victory are just... they're getting the follow-up. There's the overload on the hammerhead. I see the torpedoes firing. That is a whole bunch of torpedoes. That is probably going to be a kill unless these Omen can come in. No. So that's a hammerhead down. 1 hammerhead down. Oh, I see an Omen is down in the description. So there is some retaliation happening. But quite a few sunbirds died in the initial clash. This one is about to get swarmed and killed. Alright, now we have capitals. A capital plus multiple sunbirds attacking the Victory. Let's see how this capital duel is going to do. Alright, so the Victory is turned 90 degrees. That's not great, but it doesn't look like it's taken all that much actual damage yet. I don't know if they're... It looks like the Victory is out of range of the assault chain guns, and there's no real armor crackers on this ship. So the Victory, it took some armor damage, but it did not take a huge amount of armor damage. Down here, Hammerhead got killed. The Hammerhead is kind of attacking the capital with impunity. The Omni Shield is doing a pretty good job. Here are the assault chain guns. You see the assault chain guns on the capital pushed its flux up a bit. The Sabos flew over the capital to get the overload. Here comes the missiles for the follow-up. Oh my god, how many missiles were just stopped by the debris there? That Hammerhead was very much saved by debris. This fight is actually a lot more even than I expected. A whole bunch of Sunbirds went down in the beginning, but then they got their revenge kills, and the capitals are holding things off. Hammerhead down, flamed out in front of a capital is never a good idea. So it seems like, yep, this Hammerhead's about to go down to the capital file, the chem file. Actually, no, it was a Sabo barrage that did it in. So this is a pretty even fight so far. Let's see. I'm going to pause for a second and look at the remaining forces. The Drovers are still up because nothing's threatened them. 3 Omens are up, so there are a couple Omens down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Sunbirds are remaining, so 5 Sunbirds are down. There's only 1 Hammerhead left. So this was interesting. The initial set of kills by the Hammerheads was very decisive. But then the revenge... Oh, and there's a... Well, I spoke too soon. That Hammerhead gets a kill. But then the Hammerheads did suffer some pretty severe losses after that. Let's see. We have the dual Mark II between the Victory and the Prophet. The Victory is currently winning. Oh, that was a pair of Hellbore shots. This is actually not going very well at all. But there's a Sunbird moving up to assist. More Hellbore shots hit. Here come the Sabos. That's 4 Sabos. Is that going to get some weapons disabled? Yes, it disabled all the weapons on this side, which is actually, it's going to be a big help. Let's see if this capital can get some help by the Sunbird. Oh, the Sunbird is playing a dangerous game. It lets the capital, it lets the Prophet vent actually a significant amount of hard flux, but it's going to pay the price. Sabos inbound, overload, not quite the kill. It looks like that Sunbird is probably going to live to fight another day. Now it's 2 capitals on a capital and an Omen. But there's not that much fire actually coming in here. I'm not sure why. It might be the lack of heavy armor breakers. Like, you can see that the flux on this Victory is extremely high, but it's just not taking a huge amount of damage. Meanwhile, the assault guns and the Hellbores are doing a huge amount of actual hull damage. So these Prophets do not have the HE damage to take down a Victory. They just can't do it. They were very good against the Hammerheads, but yeah. Chemtrails, and Gauss cannons just cannot take down a Victory in a reasonable amount of time. Like you saw, that these shots are doing some damage, right? But not enough. And there's the kill. Let's see. How is other things doing? I mean, there is 1, 2, 3, 4 live Sunbirds. All the fighters are over here, so if they pushed in aggressively, they might be able to take out the Drovers. But unfortunately, due to AI problems, ships usually do not push carriers very aggressively. And this Prophet is, even with missile support, oh, I mean, that's a really good missile strike. Those Sabos disabled half the weapons on the Victory, but you can see the Thunders here are just disabling things. The Hellbore rounds are coming in. It just doesn't have the firepower to deal with a Victory. Let's see. Sunbird up here got killed by fighters. The Falxes are just going to shoot down missiles left and right. I think this was a pretty close match. But, oh, the Victory overloaded. Oh, but it's back up now, and the assault guns are going to... Yeah, the Needlers instantly overloaded the Sunbird, and the assault guns got a kill. Another overload, another kill. Oh, so there was a point. There's a little point where there's the overload, but it just couldn't get the kill. Now, the armor on the Victory is down on the front. That is the perfect chance for the long-range kinetics and frags to maybe actually be able to do something. So the armor on the Victory is finally down. But I just don't see it. This Prophet has run out of support. It's being EMP'd to death. Yeah, Thunders and Falxes cleaned up the Sunbirds. This was a close match. This was a very close match. I think if the Prophets had a better loadout versus the Victory, to be perfectly honest, if it had Hellbores to do the heavy armor damage, if it had Hellbores, the 2v1 would have crushed the Victory. But they did deal very well with the Hammerheads. It wasn't a terrible Prophet design, it just wasn't an anti-capital Prophet design, and it needed anti-capital. So there we go. A pretty good showing. A pretty good showing by Boris with some good synergy there, but it just couldn't defeat the Victory. Okay, let us move on to the next fleet. Next fleet. By the way, do people like that I called this Kadur Krunch? I thought it was cute. Okay. This is Sauzer with Do You Think God Stays in Heaven Because He Too Lives in Fear of What He Has Created? Which is a good name for a fleet. Let's take a look at it. We have the Thunder Seraph Battle Carrier, and this one looks like it is loaded pretty aggressively. Let's see, we've got 4 Thunders, which is just good. We've seen what Thunders can do, especially boosted Thunders. 2 Storm Needlers. Whew. That is a lot of kinetic damage. Like a lot. In fact, it's 1,300 dissipations worth, which is significantly more than the Flux has. So, damn. Let's see. We have Crystal Resonance Splinter Guns, which apparently has made Vera very happy. So let me take a look at these things and see what they do. Razor Sharp Charged Crystal Shards, which lodge in targets and resonate with others to form powerful secondary explosions. Oh, they're Needlers from Halo. And yes, Vera says they're Needlers from Halo. So we have some Halo Needlers, and we'll see how they do. I hope they're beautiful. We have some very long-range missile systems, an aging large-framed missile. We got some more Hauberks. We have some light chemrails, which I'm guessing are like the big ones, but lighter. And what else is on here? ITU. And a Jericho. Okay, so we got some missiles, we got some Halo Needlers, we have Storm Needlers to bring the shields down. We'll see how this thing brawls. It's got... the weapon ratio is... I approve. I approve of this flux ratio. Let's see. We have some Shurdle class carriers. So these are... they have targeting feed. Cool. Got the Heron system to boost bombers. And they are rocking a Myrmidon, a Myrmidon class heavy bomber, a 30 DP single bomber with two Jazair class heavy fusion torpedoes and 3 Hauberks. So this is a heavy ass bomber that moves at 110 speed. And we got longbows, because longbows are just good. So the longbows will hopefully allow those torpedoes to land. And those torpedoes will be boosted by the targeting feed. Guardian Engineering, Guardian IFF. We got some Jerichos, some more long-range missiles. Interesting. We'll see if those missiles can, We'll see if those missiles can get through the omens. The omens sometimes just pop. Maybe these missiles make the difference. We have a chemrail cannon. Cool. We got some flax. We got some Hauberks. So a pretty nice bomber bomber destroyer. And how many of those are there? There's actually only one of those. Okay, only one of the bombers. And another rook. We've seen the rook before. It has fission howitzers, anti-armor, 900 range, 400 damage, with a bunch of EMP. Cool, so these will be effective versus the victory if that matchup actually happened. And we have some Nefari heavy interceptors. Great. Reorients the target to face its target, displaces a very short distance. Okay, so maybe between the Thunders and these interceptors, we might actually have this fleet contesting fighter control. Oh, and more Sunbirds. Let's see how these Sunbirds are outfitted. I see some LRMs, some very LRMs, and some point defense. Okay, so this, instead of being Sabo and Burst, these are just going to be missile saturation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Whew! So this fleet, and there's missiles coming from these things, and missiles coming from here. So this fleet is going to try to do missile and fighter saturation, and the Seraph system, Sozar is reminding me, the mass anomaly field decreases speed and maneuverability of all fighter craft within a large radius, increasing their damage taken, and periodically strikes them with weak EMP. So hopefully, the Thunders and Nefari will get fire dominance, the bombers will do their work, and the missiles will blow things up. We'll see if that can get through Omens and Falxes. So let me do a quick reset and see how this fleet goes. It's really great to see so many different fleet approaches to the Kadur remnants. Like, a lot of the times when we do tournaments, we only have 1 or 2 players playing a faction mod. We only get to see one way that faction is played. But in this case, we're just seeing so many different takes and so many different builds. Now, these are standoff Sunbirds. They don't have Sabos for the burst. Let's see how they're going to handle the attacks from these Omens and Falxes and SO Hammerheads. That's a lot of damage. That's a lot of missiles. The missiles have actually done a decent job clearing out some fighters. That is actually kind of surprising. God, that's a lot of missiles. That's a lot of missiles. And look at those bursting charges. Even though the Omens have 10,000 effective shield hit points, they are driving them back. There has been no massacre of the Sunbirds. So last time the Sunbirds actually took a lot of damage. I speak too soon. This one's taking damage right here. But this time, oh, the Reapers missed and hit the target behind. Here come the Drovers. Oh, wow, that's a lot of harpoons. The Drovers and the Victory dumped their harpoons. That's enough harpoons to get 1 kill and maybe get another kill. Oh, this point defense is not really capable of shooting down. Oh, the interceptor comes in for the save. So we've seen 1 Sunbird down, probably another Sunbird down over here. Yeah, that Sunbird's going to go down. We have not seen any actual losses to the test fleet, though. The missiles push stuff back, but there's not much kinetic damage happening. Let me see if I can look out for the thunder strikes and things. But I worry that the Omens just hard counter, and the SO is rushing them down. Oh, it's just not going well. Yeah, there's no warship component. There's nothing to really lower the shields, except for those Storm Needlers. So the Storm Needlers did push back the Hammerhead, but then there's, like, the missiles just aren't around for follow-up. Ugh. I think this might be a shame. And that's really a shame, because it is a good fleet. But, like, Falxes, Drover-boosted Falxes and Omens shut down missiles hard. And every single time one of these Sunbirds gets overloaded, the harpoons just come flying out for the kill. Down here, a pair of Hammerheads are punishing the Sunbird. There's the overload. There's the kill. Yeah. There's no front line. There's no front line to stop these SOs to just coming in. Oh, no, I spoke too soon. This is not a shame. One Omen is down. I see Sauzer being like, why aren't my fighters actually attacking and do damage? And that's a good question. Where are Sauzer's fighters? I think they're all dead. I see fighter at 43% here, fighters at 76%, fighters at 72%. The Falc's Super Interceptors and the Omens. That's another Omen down. The Storm Needlers are actually doing a good job. Storm Needlers have killed 2 Omens. But the fighters in this fleet have been totally wrecked. And the missiles have not done that great. And the Sunbirds have unfortunately their missiles cannot penetrate. The missiles cannot penetrate the Omens and the minefield. So not a shame. I spoke too soon. The Omens are actually pretty hard countered by the Needlers. Oh, but this is multiple SO Hammerheads on this ship. Weapon systems is disabled. Armor is going down. I don't see the ship living for very long. The Victory is just kind of hanging out, being like, when do I get a turn to murder it? There goes the assault guns. Seraph down. I think the fleet is going to collapse pretty soon. And there are those Falxes. There are those Thunders. The ship is completely disabled. Look at all those mines. No wonder these fighters couldn't do anything. The Falxes with their count boosted by 50% by Drovers, because Drovers are fair and balanced Fox trademark. This is going to be it very soon. Sauzer's fleet just could not achieve fighter dominance against Omen and Falx interceptors. And that is the match. Not a shame. 3 Omens got killed, but a pretty convincing win for the test fleet. Okay. Let us go to Lightforger's fleet. Moving on. Let's see. Lightforger is bringing the AI-worshipping heretics. They are using Discount Hammerhead Targe classes, going for the SO Unstable Injector route. They have 2 heavy machine guns, 1 dual microvision close-in weapon system, and some Jerboa microspike launchers. So these are kinetic missiles with kinetic machine guns. But does this do HE? Yes. Oh, okay. Okay, yes, this is a 400 DPS, 450 range weapon. Okay, so, yeah, we got Targes with, oh god, they have 900 armor. Okay, these are tough little beasts. With 2 HE, or 2 kinetic, 1 HE, and some kinetic missiles. Alright, and let me take a look at the weapon groups. Yeah, linked up. So, you know, I have never used these things. Maybe they'll kick ass. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 of them. And let's just take a quick look at the stats. They got 110 speed plus another 50, so they'll actually be running at 160. They got 900 armor and 6,000 hull, which is pretty darn beefy for a destroyer. They have a 1 shield, which is not great, but they have pretty decent capacity, and they have a pretty decent arc. 130. Actually, no. 130 is a bit small for an Omni shield. Cool. Cool. Okay, what else is in this fleet? We have some more Immortals. Okay, so we got Immortals with long-range missiles, ECM to boost the LRMs, and some close-in weapon system. And as a reminder, the shuttles have targeting feed, so these Immortals are going to be boosted. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. Okay, so this is yet another fleet approach. It's so good to see so many different fleet approaches. So this is SO destroyers with kinetic and HE, backed up by heavy gunships. Let us see how Lightforger's fleet does. That is a solid, solid battle line of destroyers. This is going to be a hard clash when these hit the hammerheads. We'll see what these Reapers do. Because, yeah, these have 900 armor, but 900 armor doesn't mean that much against 8,000 HE damage from the linked Reapers. Alright, here come some missiles. Ooh, and they're the kinetic missiles. Targe gets overloaded, takes takes some Reapers, takes some HE. That is one Targe down. Excuse me. Sorry about that, folks. I'm getting over a cold. So, the Targes are pushing things back. They are hitting the Drovers. We have Hammerhead down over here, 2 Targes down. This is going to be a Drover down. Drover down over here. Hammerhead overloaded. Targes moving in. Another Hammerhead overloaded down here. The kinetic missiles are doing their work. This is a brutal fight. I no longer have a voice at all. One Drover here overloaded, but I think it's going to get away because it's hiding behind the victory. A lot of harpoons are flying out, but the dual machine guns haven't shot down all of the harpoons, but they shot down a lot of the harpoons. That is pretty darn good. Drover down over there. These kinetic missiles are doing a darn good job. Targe here is just kind of hanging out. You should move in. Omen down over there. The Targes are swarming the victory. It looks like the EMP damage from those missiles have taken out almost all the weapons. The heavy armor is doing something. Oh, LRMs! The LRMs are actually proving their worth in this fleet composition because the LRMs are taking out the armor on the victory. This looks like it's just going to be too many Targes. I think these Targes are going to overwhelm, although one of them is overloaded and dying up north, and another one is dying to the west. So that is going to be... Oh, did an Omen just explode? That is a bad luck. The Omen got destroyed by the death explosion of the Targe. That is actually a pretty good thing. Another Omen goes down over here to those dual heavy machine guns. The victory has been pushed back. The victory is down. The Targe here that ran north got surrounded and killed, but I'll note that every time the Targes die, it takes a while. The Targes they have a lot of hull and armor. The gunships are doing their job. The gunships, despite being EMP'd some, just annihilate the Omen. Let's see, it's 3 hammerheads on 2 Targes. This Targe is going to go down. This hammerhead took significant damage, but it has managed to back off. Now it's 2 Targes on 1 hammerhead. Hammerhead is taking some damage to the back. Switch target over there. Let's see. There are many more Targes left than hammerheads. I only see this ending one way, even though these ones are moving in the wrong direction. The Targes here are pushing the Drovers, but they're not being that aggressive. I wonder what their personality is set to. Their personality is set to good enough. On this side, it's 2 hammerhead versus 1 Targe. The Targe is playing it safe, which is actually good just for it. Hammerhead goes down over here. Drover goes down over here. Targes are closing in. That is going to be a Drover down. The Targes managed to kill many Drovers because they just rushed straight in. A lot of them are just kind of hanging out. Oh, no, those are the carriers. I'm sorry. The carriers are hanging out. That makes so much more sense. Professionalism. Now, let's see. These Targes are actually very damaged. If it gets flanked, it could very well die. Ooh, very, very close to death, but it's about to get help. There are those long-range missiles again. You know, Vera, I gotta say, your LRMs are doing a pretty good job this match. The other match, they weren't working because they were getting shut down by Falxes. But with SO ships to lead the charge, the missiles have done quite a lot of damage. Ha ha ha! And Patherzen says, large and in charge. Using those hammerheads for target practice. Lol. I'm amused. I am amused. And that's it. We have the second victory for the Kadur, this time using SO hammerheads and bombers. Not a shame by any means, but just a darn good attack. Okay, so Light Forger gets the second win. Okay, next up we have Grievous 69. And I see some ships that I've seen before. I've seen some ships that I haven't seen before. Let us look through the fleet. Alright, so we have another Prophet. Prophets have been very popular, and we have yet another build. So, more data points for Vera on the Prophet. Let's see, this one is armed with some frag splinter guns for point defense. So this is an area point defense. Some microvision close and weapon systems. So these are the ones that do substantial force. Oh, these are the HE guns. These are the 450 range HE gun that the Targes uses last time. We have some graviton sweepers, 1000 range, 3500 damage, kinetic. I'm sorry, did I read that right? 3500 damage kinetic? And they do extra hard flux damage on Sweeper. All right. Well, these are probably heavily scripted. So we'll see how they do. I think it's going to be really cool. Oh, it's a free space 2-beam cannon. That makes more sense. We have some of these capacitive rod drivers we saw before. We have the Jaya very long-range missile system. We have some HE siege cannons. This is what we need against the victory. We need HE damage. And we got some point defense. So we have a pretty long-range but good HE damage battleship. This might be a good match for the victory. This really might be a really good match. And these microvision close and weapon systems, they could mess up the hammerheads. The one thing I don't really see on here is high DPS HE or kinetic other than these rod drivers, and they're not great DPS. This might have trouble with omens. Let's see, in terms of hull mods, we have the shield conversion front to get it up to 260 degree shield. We have the ITU, we have resistant flux conduits, and a flux distributor to get the dissipation up to 1650. Alright, one of those, and we have some new stuff. Some Golem class cruisers. These have their missiles empty. You left the missiles empty? For shame. With 1, 2, 3, 4 capacitive rod drivers. Let's see, what do these ships do? Provides a brief flux cost reduction and boost to the rate of fire of all ballistic weapons, disables shields in movement but not terminating while active. Okay, so that looks like it's a siege mode, basically. Yeah, we got a siege mode system, backed up by the capacitive rod drivers. Interesting. Alright, so these could hit things pretty hard, and it's got these close and weapon systems to kill, hopefully, kill the fighters and kill the hammerheads. Shield conversion front, flux resistant conduits, 1400 armor, 12,000 hull. That's reasonably... I mean, no, that is tanky. That is legitimately tanky. 2 of those. And we have some Sherldell class carriers with their targeting feed with the 30 DP bomber. Now, we didn't see these bombers do anything last time because they got basically fighter area denial to death. But with more of them, hopefully we'll see some cool strikes by these bombers. We got 2 of these carriers. Ah, another new one. I've been ignoring names. This is the Star Platinum, this is the Zahando, the Aerosmith, and the Sex Pistols. I wonder what the theme is. More capacitive rod drivers. Let's see, what's this thing's gimmick? Alright, so this has got a charge. I will charge you and hit you with my sword ship system. Cool. With fairly low armor for Kadur stuff. Also a pretty terrible shield. So this is actually not a very tanky ship. Destroyer, 8 DP, cool. And again with the missing missile, put your missiles on. 2 of those. We have the Pearl Jam. I still just haven't figured out what this name is. With some spike pods, that kinetic missiles that we saw before that did an excellent job. And some Janissary short-range missiles. Interesting. Okay, so these Sunbirds are going for the good old kinetic HE attack. I wonder if it'll be interesting to compare how the Sabos do versus the Jacanas do. And it's got some flechette drivers, it's got some splinter guns, no hull mods, some caps and vents. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 Sunbirds. And we get some Buzzards. We saw the Buzzards before. These ones are capacitive rod drivers, and again, also the Joshua. So the Joshua is popular on the Buzzard, and it is loaded up with capacitors to try to have it survive for a little while. They're gonna die. We all know they're gonna die. 2 of those, and some Mendicant class shuttles. Only 2 DP, a flare launcher, some microscope launcher, some flechette drivers, unstable injector. These are basically distraction. But we saw Ruben's fleet. Ruben's fleet, the distractions worked very well. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 distractions, 2 of the Buzzards with rod drivers, 4 missile Sunbirds, 2 Falchions, again with the rod drivers, 2 bombers, 2 Golem cruisers, and a battleship. So it's actually both a fairly wide and fairly tall fleet. Let's see how it does. Okay, and I've been specifically told that I should at some point try to watch these bombers on a run. All right. The Sex Pistols are driving ahead, and I'm going to look up their actual class names. They're light Sex Pistols, excuse me. Falchion classes. Falchion class light Sex Pistols have charged ahead. And they are going to get massacred. And there's the kill. Yup. So they absorbed 4 Reapers. But yeah, just not a good time. Oh, and another Reaper for the overload. Hammerhead's coming in for the kill. Wiped out over there. I'm just not going to look at that. That's just evil. Okay, the battleship has moved to the fore. Let's see if the battleship can stiffen up the line here. A Sunbird just went down. Mendicant just went down. Oh no, no, these frigates, they're not being distractions because they're not moving out. Capacitive rod drivers are firing and they are pushing. Very slow velocity there. But it looks like the frigate swarm is doing more harm than good. Oh, just look, the missile ships are in front. They're blocking the sight lines. So these cruisers have done basically nothing because they have no sight lines. Meanwhile, the low DPS of the rod drivers is just not doing them any favors. This is not going well. This is not going well at all. The frigates are not engaging. They're just blocking sight lines. The Sunbirds are just kind of hanging out, not attacking. I mean, look at this. A Hammerhead is just killing a carrier unopposed. Like, there's a cruiser and a destroyer and frigates nearby. They're not attacking. Oh. I don't know if this was personalities or what, but this is not going to go well. Not going to go well at all. The capital is just too low DPS. It is swarmed. Harpoons coming in. Disabled, blown up. The Victory never even needed to fire its main guns. Oh, it's brutal. It's just brutal. You know, I haven't watched for one of those bomber attack runs yet, but this ship has 54% fighters left, and none of the test fleets have been killed so far. Oh, there we go. All right, we'll follow this attack run. It's firing missiles at an Omen. This one's flamed out. It hasn't fired its missiles yet. Still not firing its missiles. And it's gonna die. Oh, they just... Okay, it finally fired its missiles at a fighter. Or something. I'm not impressed by those ships. So far, I haven't seen those 30 DP bombers land a single shot. Maybe it's just because Omens are... You're dead? But, yeah. So, unfortunately, this fleet did not gel. The frigates did more harm than good. We have the first kill of the night. First kill of the match was a death explosion that killed an Omen whose shield was down. Another Mendicant goes down. The fighter swarm is tearing up the destroyer. Buzzer goes down. The frigates did not do their job. Instead of distracting and engaging, they just blocked the sight lines. So yeah, this was a shame. I know this says kill, but that was a death explosion kill. This was an unfortunate shame. What looked like a very promising fleet just got in its own way. I'm very sorry, Grievous. You have been defeated. Okay. Next up, we have Lightning JC. Let us look at Lightning JC's fleet talking about SO. Okay, let's take a look at Lightning's fleet. Actually, you know what? My voice is killing me. I am going to take a 2-minute break. I am just taking a 2-minute break. I'll be right back. Okay, much better. Can you folks hear me? Ah, there it goes. All right. So let us take a look at Lightning JC's fleet. Talking about SO. So we have the Can't Fit SO, battle carrier, and it's got 2 Hoplite Kinetic bombers. We haven't seen these so far. They are they're armed with the Jacana Spike missiles. Those are some nice damage. And we have two more of the Myrmidon so far useless heavy bombers. Excuse me. Professionalism. So we'll see if the kinetic plus HE combo can do it. Oh no, Sazer's headphones have died. See you, Sazer. Let's see. What is this Seraph armed with? We got some more of those pretty effective long-range missiles. We have some gyrojet drivers, which are... It's just a medium ballistic with 1500 range. Kinetic. Just 1500 range. There's nothing there. Two of those, a hill and attack lance, ITU, stabilized shields, and expanded deck crew. And it looks like all of the other weapon mounts have been left blank to give enough OP for these fighters and bombers. And apparently, these guns are actually 4,000 range in practice, but suck. We'll see. Next up, this could have SO, but something, carrier, with expanded deck crew and ECCM, salamanders, heavy mauler, so set up for support, and it's got Nefari interceptors and Dervish interceptors, so some fighter superiority covers to try to back up these bombers. Two of those. Next, we have Sphinx class. I think this is new, with, again, the Mass Aug ramjets. Pretty good armor. 30 recovery supply. Damn. So this thing is almost capital cost. Wow. And we'll see how that does. This one, finally does have SO. SO with a Storm Needler, 2 assault chain guns, some medium-range torpedoes, some dual flaks, but boy, we'll just see if it can really justify being 30 deployment points. 2 of those. Let's see, what's the shield on this thing? It's a front shield 180 at 0.9, not too bad. 2 of those, SO, stabilized shields, hardened shields. We have SO could work here, but I didn't something, probably like didn't want to, didn't feel like it, whatever. And this is a Archimandrite class, and it has a flux injector. Alright, we've seen this before. This is the speed booster, maneuverability, and flux dissipation. Basically, shields off overdrive mode with a Mjolnir, some light needlers, and some medium-range torpedoes. Stabilized shields on ITU. Kind of a balanced non-SO ship. 1, 2, 3. 3 of those for 10 DP. We have some more falchions. We'll see if they do better than the Sex Pistols. This is also not an SO ship, with some railguns, some heavy mortars. That's kind of a hammerhead type build there. Again, the ramjets, automated repair units, stabilized shields, reinforced bulkheads, but they're still relatively fragile for Kadur ships. And then we have wouldn't recommend SO on this ship. Safety removed on all of our hopes, with a heavy needler and a heavy modeler and a heavy mauler. This is the long-range slow frigate. One of those, and guess what? It has SO. Of course it has. Why would you expect a long-range build? So we have an SO frigate with assault chain gun. 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. So I love this fleet. So talking about SO has all the ships talk about SO, but it has 2 SO cruisers and some SO frigates. And that's actually all the SO on it. Then it has some mid-range, mid-DPS destroyers, some ballistic sunders, and some fighter cover and some bomber cover. I'm just going to do a quick reset there. I love this fleet's theme. Thank you, Lightning JC. I'm actually going to look at the names again. Safety removed on Mjolnir, despite having no Mjolnirs. Safety was removed on Akamas. Safety removed on Oxyntus. Safety was removed on Protesilaus. I also have no idea what these words are. Safety is removed on Menuetus. And safety is removed on Lamia. Safety is removed on Hermione. I love it. I just love it. Okay. Hermione. I mean, you know that the reason that Victor Crumb did not know how to pronounce Hermione's name was so that J.K. Rowling could have an excuse to put a pronunciation guide for Hermione in the story because no one in the United States knew how to frickin' pronounce it. And that is my Hermione Harry Potter hot take of the day. Ooh, a couple of wasted Reapers there. Look at that ship darting around. That is what a distraction frigate is meant to do. And it's dead. And it's dead. Here's this SO cruiser moving in to flank on the Hammerhead, but it's firing its Storm Needler. Fighters don't do that. Falchion goes down. Another Falchion goes down. Over here, however, the ship is actually doing its job. It's firing its guns at a ship. It destroys the Hammerhead. A lot of harpoons are flying out here, but most of them flame out. Couple of Reapers launched. Reapers in the air. Oh, no, those are the bombers. The bombers actually did an attack run and were completely useless. Okay, more harpoons. Harpoons chasing frigates. Frigates doing their job, but it ran straight into them and overloaded. Not great. Over here, Hammerhead is actually beating up on this 30 DP cruiser. That's not great. But it has the tankiness to survive and back off. Over on this side, the long-range battle carrier is being engaged in close range, which is not great, but it looks like its destroyer, the fighters have done their job. This Omen is nearly down. Oh, but look at that. The AM blaster to the back kills another one of those distraction destroyers. Hammerhead here is closing in. Light Needlers do their job. The Alpha Strike drives up the front flux. The Hammerhead is being driven back. Hammerhead cannot approach that ship. That's a well-designed ship. Over here, we saw that hill extend for just a moment and then retract. AI not clicking the fire button for long enough. And also, a hill is really not going to do that much against the hardened shields over there. Let's see, another Archimandrite class has went down somewhere. Oh no. Oh no, the 30 DP SO ship is surrounded, it's flamed out, and it is dead. One Sphinx down. The other one is closing in. It really should get a kill on this Hammerhead. And it does. Hammerhead down. Let's see if it can turn around and get another one. This battle carrier is holding its own fairly well, but the Sunders are attacking it pretty well. This ship is flamed out. You know, I've seen the Hammerheads have been pushed back pretty successfully, but there have been a lot of losses. A lot of losses. I just don't think this fleet is efficient enough. I also don't think these fighters do anything. I mean, it launches a couple of slow, easily shot down torpedoes. The battle carrier is now flanked with an Omen that got an AM blaster shot, an SO Hammerhead, which is kind of keeping its distance, which is weird, and oh, it's a victory. Just a victory. What's that going to do? Yeah, the battle carrier is dead. It's dead. Let's see. SO Hammerhead over here finally got the job done. The 30 DP cruiser did take out a drover, but it has been flanked. AM blaster shot comes sailing in. I love these Omens. And SO Hammerhead gets the kill. I don't think those bombers are worth 10 OP. Maybe it's just because Falxes are nasty and Omens are nasty. I have not seen those bombers land a single hit point of damage. I have not seen them hit the shield of a ship once. Alright, what is left? A single one of these Falchions is dueling an Omen. The Omen actually might die. I mean, it's trapped in the corner. Railguns are firing. But the Omen is faster. And here come the fighters. Falxes are inbound. Let's just see what the Falxes will do. I mean, they're Falxes. Falxes are pretty soon. Oh god, it's a thundercloud, and it's dead. Okay. So not a terrible showing from Lightning JC. Killed a drover, killed an omen, killed a pair of hammerheads. But the lack of... it's just not efficient enough. The ships took losses, and then there just weren't enough. You know, maybe it's just because it's an SO build, but 30 DP, that's almost a capital. And they just didn't perform. Okay. Next up, we have Archangel. Archangel has submitted the 63rd Expeditionary Fleet. And we see some more harassers, or some more buzzards being harassers. Let's see, we see some of these long-range missiles that we've seen in the past do some good stuff. We have the 1500 range gyrojet drivers, and we have the 50% range boost. So these frigates are just going to have 2250 range. That's fine. That's fine. Honestly, though, it's actually... hammerheads are a really bad opponent for this matchup, because the hammerheads are just going to rush down these ships. Maybe. Or I could be wrong. We'll see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 standoff, harasser, long-range missiles, and long-range kinetic bombardment frigates. Next, we have some eagles. I mean, eagle Kadur. Ha, ha, ha. We see the ever-popular capacitive rod driver, which it's very nice knockback, but low DPS. Some fission howitzers for nice long-range HE damage. So we have the kinetic HE combo, and we got some point defense. Now, how is this different from a regular eagle? It's still 22 deployment points. It's got a little bit, actually significant higher armor. It's got 300 higher armor. It has pure kinetic, which is more powerful. But it's got a significantly worse shield. It has a 1.2 efficiency shield, which has a 525 upkeep. So, goddamn, that is a severely bad shield. Yeah. We will see how that does. And it's got burn drive. Burn drive, yay. 1, 2, 3, 4 Eagle Ks. We have some Shield Cracker, Shirtle class carriers. We've seen them before. With more of these hoplite kinetic bombers with the very effective Jacana spike missiles. And some more of these Jericho LRMs and expanded deck crew. And another gyrojet. So some fighter cover. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. So, to summarize, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of the Buzzard super long range frigates, 4 K Eagles, and 5 carriers. I'm just going to do a quick reset, and let's see how Archangel Mark V's 63rd Expeditionary Fleet does. All right. What do you mean I triggered your Google Home? Oh, you mean my voice command made your Google Home go off? Google Home. Open Amazon and order a 55-gallon drum of lubricant. Confirm purchase and order. Oh, wow. Something about the fighters is murdering my frames a little bit. Okay, back to the match. The buzzards are firing. One buzzard down. But you can see how there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buzzards they're all bunched up. They have no firing lanes. they can't actually attack anything because they're all bunched up. Eagle is overloaded, and there are several harpoons. One or two. Just a few. Just a few harpoons. On this side, we see an Omen get pushed back by the capacitive rods. It's actually taken a lot of damage. And over here is an overloaded Hammerhead that's also taken a lot of damage. Is there going to be follow-up? I see missiles coming in. Oh, Hammerhead did get its shields back up in time. Another Eagle K has overloaded. It is going to just be ruined. Those poor shields on the Eagle Ks are costing them. Another shuttle goes down. The 1-2 punch of these harpoons is too much for the poor shield emitters. This is turning into a slaughter. The frigates are bunched up. The EMP damage has knocked out half of the damage on this Eagle. The shields are just crippling it. And here come the harpoons. They're not even really targeting it, but they still do half of its hull in damage. That Eagle is just getting swarmed and killed. Without the maneuverability of an Eagle and using these low DPS weapons cannot handle these Hammerheads. It is a unfortunate matchup. Omen Hammerhead comes in, AM Blaster Mat, does a bunch of damage. The Omen does overload, and the Hammerhead overloads. So there's some pretty decent strikes happening, but these ships are too fast. There's not enough missile follow-up. So far, I don't think the test fleet has lost a single ship. The Eagle is again swarmed. Here come the harpoons again. Actually, many of the harpoons were diverted by the flares. A nice flare drop. Almost get the single fighter that survives, almost gets an overload, but not enough. And the ion beam gets the disable. Another buzzard is down. This Eagle is fighting for its life, but its shields simply cannot repel firepower of that magnitude. Assault chain guns come in, and there's the kill. AM Blaster Shot for the overload, and Falxes and Thunders for the kill on the Shuttle. I think this is all but over. Desperately, these frigates are bunching up. They're firing, and they have range, but they block each other's sight lines, they get swarmed, and they are being just annihilated. I haven't really seen this victory need to do anything. The Omens and Hammerheads were a hard counter. Not to mention the swarm of killer fighters. Just a hard counter. Another kill. Oof. Victory is finally getting in range. You can see it activating its maneuverability system to charge. Burst PD actually is pretty decent against frigate grade armor. Another shuttle down, a buzzard down, and that is the match. An unfortunate shame. These Hammerheads and Omens, just brutal. You know, I gotta say, I know you're looking for balance. There have actually been a couple shames so far, and one technical shame. The shield on this is so bad. And 525 flux per second is almost the entire flux budget. I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right, Zen. Maybe they're a better player ship, but boy, did they get dunked on. These got absolutely dumped on. Not to mention that they apparently have, yeah, the substandard shield generator. Okay. And this is Ruben's second fleet. This is the last fleet of the night. Wait, this seems familiar. All right, let us look at Ruben's fleet, second fleet. This is the second fleet of the night. Hey, it's more Targes. Enforcer LP. Targes with accelerated ammo fielder. Hey, look, it's 2 heavy machine guns, an assault chain gun, 4 Reapers. So these are going for the Reapers instead of the kinetic missiles. We'll see how that does, but I'm guessing death and destruction. Still has 900 armor, 6,000 hull, significant flux capacity with a 1.0 shield. I mean, it's not bad. It's really not bad. And it has almost enough dissipation to fire its guns. And I'm just going to make a prediction. I'm guessing a 2x2 weapon, 2x2 linked Reapers. Yes, there we go. 2x2 linked Reapers. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. The heavy machine guns are in different weapon groups. Is that so their flux per second is lower, and so they'll always be on? I'm guessing that's what's going on here. Yeah. So these are grouped so that their flux is lower and they're always on. These are grouped in 2x2 links. I like this design. It's a good design. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 of the definitely not enforcers charges. And then some buzzards with, hey look, SO. And assault chain gun and sabos. Hey look! Oh no, they're not linked. The sabos and the assault chain guns are unlinked? Huh. Well, let's see how that does. Cool, cool, cool. Cool, cool, cool. But these are interesting because these assault chain guns have 50% boost to range and the 2/3 reduction in range past 450. Interesting. Okay, so Vera says they're going to be 562 range assault chain guns. Let's see, and we have two of the buzzards, and then we have some Drover minus. Oh, I see. So these are Enforcer LP minus and Drover minus. We got some Sherdalls with Thunders, classic, with heavy Giselle batteries for guns, some Jemadar medium-range torpedoes, some point defense, expanded missile racks, and expanded deck crew. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the Drover minuses. So, a pretty straightforward fleet composition of a whole lot of I have torpedoes and kinetics, you're about to die charges. Some buzzards, probably just to round out the DP, and some Thunderfighter cover. Let's see if Ruben can get a second win and need to get a second fleet needed for them. I kind of think this fleet is going to win. We've already seen that Targes are excellent SO boats. So from the south, the Targe and Thunder Swarm. From the north, our nice familiar test fleet. One Omen coming in by itself. Alright, so we have fighter engagement, Omen engagement. Oh look, it's like 6 assault chain guns attacking an Omen. Pop. Sorry, 6 heavy machine guns with the booster. A whole lot of Reapers flying out, 2 overloads, multiple Reaper strikes. Oh god, look at these Reapers. Look at how many Reapers. This Reaper, which wasn't... Doink! Doink! Over here, the Hammerhead dodges both Reapers just barely. A sliver of hull left. But now the Drover is exposed. The Targes are driving forward. Drover down from Reapers. Targe is not overloaded. These Targes are just beating up on the Hammerheads. Just really beating up on them. It's not very fair. Over here, we have some harpoons fired, and they did some damage, but, you know, the heavy machine guns, they're not great point defense, but as shield crackers and secondary point defense, they shoot down about half the missiles, which is pretty darn good. There is one Targe down, another Drover down, Hammerhead down. The victory is getting into the game. It has launched a barrage of missiles, and the missiles get the kill. So that is a Shirtle down. The victory is attacking that Targe. It's going to do some pretty, actually, severe damage, but Targes, in addition to being high firepower, are also tough. Oh, the frigate gets bumped by behind. You know, once the swarm starts, this victory will probably go down, but it's picking them off. It is picking them off one by one. Here come the torpedoes. Burst PD does its job, kills the torpedoes. The buzz goes down. The swarm is starting. This charge is flamed out. Oh, here we go. Actually, all 4 of those torpedoes got taken out. Those 4 torpedoes all hit. 16,000 HE damage immediately cripples the victory. Small missile slots on SO ships are incredibly powerful, and this is going to be very quick. As soon as the shield goes down, there it goes. That's the kill. It was doing pretty well. It's doing pretty well for a little while. Okay, let's see. This was not a shame for the test fleet. I saw some targets go down, but at this point, it's just cleanup. There's 2 Omens and a Drover left. I mean, these things are just enforcers, but better in every single way. Luddic Path enforcers better in every single way. Absolutely, Targes are getting nerfed. But no shame. 2 Targes down, 2 Shirtles down, and 2 Buzzards down. I just want to take a look at something. How many DP are the Buzzards? 10. Okay. Well, that is the end of the matches that I have for you. And that was a pretty decent length stream, so I think I am going to call it out that. I thank you all for coming to watch Starsector exhibition matches, Kadur Krunch. This has given Vera a ton of good feedback. We've seen a lot of different Kadur Remnant Kadur Remnant fleet builds. We've seen many different approaches. We've seen some of them work very well, some of them not so much. I had a lot of fun streaming this. Thank you all for watching. If people want to see more exhibition matches, either on a theme or just you fighting your friends, come on over to the Discord, talk in the tournament, someone organize something. I'm always happy to stream stuff. And with that, I wish you all a very good night. Bye, everyone. It was a lot of fun.